it took about a month for me to be back. And one day I was painting, and he's like, "You haven't painted in so long." And he just gives me a hug, and he said, "We found it. This is great. Our lives are going to be great again." Because you know, when you're picking up someone off the floor, it had to be hard for him, equally as hard for him. So now it's every day is a gift. When I was about 14 years old, I started getting PMS, and with that PMS came depression. Throughout the years, 17, 18, oh, she's just a teenager, she's just an artist type of person, and I'd get in these dark moods and kind of stay in my room and cry, and then it would pass. As I got older, started in my 20s, the depressions would last longer. Now in my adult years, I must have been like 22 when I first started Zoloft. And I went to the doctor, and they're like, "Oh my goodness, you poor thing, you were depressed your whole life. This is horrible," and gave me Zoloft, and it was wonderful. I understood it, my serotonin was low, they gave it to me, it was great. Then I wanted to get off of it because I was like, okay, I've been on it for 2 years now, it's not something you really think about staying on long term. And holy smokes, that's when I realized what I was taking was pretty hardcore stuff. I'd get something called brain zaps, and I couldn't eat. It was just, the withdrawal symptoms was so hard. And I swore I'm just gonna exercise every day, and I'm gonna just be so healthy, I'll never need Zoloft or something like that again. And if you're familiar with depression, you know that it comes in waves for a lot of people. So then the next wave came, and the next wave of depression was worse than the wave before. So they tried me on Zoloft, and what happens, I said, okay, I surrender, I'll go on Zoloft again. They gave me that, and it didn't work that second time. So, oh, well, sometimes they give you the same medicine and it won't work. So then they gave me, I think it was called Prestique. So I went on Prestique, and again, it was great. I felt awesome. So now we're into like my late 20s, early 30s, and I'm married now. We're trying to have babies, and I'm on Prestique, and it's working well. But okay, we're gonna try to get pregnant and get off of Prestique. Same thing, the brain zaps, the really drugged feeling. It was just not a good scene. It took us 5 years to get pregnant. About 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, I got into a depression that was the deepest. And again, depression gets deeper. And the more I looked into it and talked to other people, it seems like it's a pattern. Depression gets deeper and deeper and deeper each episode. And so this last episode was really deep. And I'm looking at the couch that I just couldn't get off of. I just laid there and sobbed and cried and didn't want to be. So I'd go and hide in the bathroom because I didn't want my husband to worry about me, because the look on his face, it was just so sad to see me so sad. So I'd go in the bathroom and I'd lock the door and I'd cry and cry and cry and cry. So he caught me crying and being, so sick, and just praying. I'd pray, God, give me some disease that I could just pass with dignity, that I could just die and everybody will say, oh, she died of the cancer. Because it was so much pain, and you don't want to live anymore, and you don't want to hurt the people around you. You can't crawl out of that darkness. So my husband saw me and picked me up and said, all right, we're gonna get some help. And I went to a new doctor, a psychiatrist, and said, listen, this stuff helped me in the past, that helped me in the past. She's refusing to go on medicine now. They actually did give me, what was it called? One of the newer antidepressants, Cymbalta. They gave me Cymbalta, and I went on that just to get me out of the funk. But I said, okay, but then we're gonna work on getting me off of this, right? Because I really wanna have a baby and really can't do it with this medicine. And they're like, yeah, so I went, and my serotonin was up, and I saw things clearly again. So then my husband and I were able to talk about a plan. So I go back to the doctor and the psychiatrist and said, this isn't for me. I can't be on Cymbalta. I don't like the way it makes me feel. I'm drugged, and yes, I'm not crying, and I'm walking around and I'm showering and brushing my teeth again, but it's not something that I'm feeling comfortable with, and definitely not what I'm going to be comfortable when we finally are pregnant. And he told me about EMPowerplus. So I was right away like, ding, ding, because he's like, it's all natural, and he's going on and on. He said he had 4 other patients with bipolar disorder two with bipolar, one with major depression, and the other with schizophrenia. And he said with each of those people, he had seen results. Got on the EMPowerplus, was feeling awesome, but still afraid, you know, like, is this gonna work? Am I gonna wind up going back on to something else? And then we found out we were pregnant. So I was like, woohoo, I'm not on any medication. I'm just taking the EMPowerplus. I'm feeling fantastic. Best I've ever felt physically as well. My skin actually cleared up too. I don't know if that was just because I was feeling better, but it did wonderful things. So now we're pregnant and I'm on EMPowerplus and freaked out a little more. Oh no, I'm reading all my books and people with history of depression get postpartum depression. Oh no, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna have postpartum depression. I called up Tanza and she was telling me, well, you're just gonna increase the dose. And so I did throughout my pregnancy. Perfect pregnancy, no mood swings like all my friends warned me about. Now postpartum, I had like a day of like hormonal release where I was like, wow, I can't believe I have a baby. And from then on, she's 10 weeks old, almost 11 weeks old, and it's been smooth sailing. I could breastfeed without worrying about what's going into my baby. It saved my life in so many different ways. It really has. I don't know. I don't know if I would have made it through this last bout of depression, and I don't know if Lucy would have existed. I knew I couldn't do the Pristiques and the Cymbaltas. I couldn't do that anymore, so I thank them both for truly saving my life, and I mean that with all my heart.